Welcome back to GSMC's Down by Contact Sports Podcast. I am your host, Jeremy Lapidus. Today is Wednesday, April 2nd. If you were just tuning in, we just finished going over the massive contracts given out in the MLB to Garrett Crochet, Jackson Merrill, and Ketel Marte. In this segment, we turn our attention to basketball. The NBA season is winding down. That means one thing. The NBA playoffs are right around the corner. We only have a couple more power rankings to go before we get to the most exciting playoff season for basketball. We got our next NBA power rankings coming up here in a second. But before we do, remember, if you would like to be an even bigger part of the show than you already are, all you need to do is go to gsmcpodcast.net. Or if you're on YouTube, you can use that super chat feature. If you do either of those two things, a message should pop up on the bottom of the screen for you, me, and everybody else around the world to see. If you do have a burning question about sports, anything at all that you would like to ask, go ahead and throw that in the comments. Throw it in the chat. I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. I appreciate everybody so much for sticking around, talking some sports with me here on a beautiful Wednesday, April 2nd. But like I was saying, we're going to get into our NBA power rankings here, starting off at number 30, where once again, the Utah Jazz sit. The Utah Jazz are currently tied for the worst record in the NBA. They have been down there for quite a while. This is not a good Utah Jazz team. I don't think that's too bold of a statement for me to make right now. This is a Utah Jazz team currently eliminated from the playoffs, sitting at 16 and 60. That is, again, tied with the Wizards for the least amount of wins, I should say, in the NBA right now. The Jazz, the reason they're not below the Wizards is just because they don't have a lot of young guys that I'm excited to see. This is a Jazz team that doesn't have a lot set up for the future. That number one pick would be huge for them. At number 29, I've got those Washington Wizards. They are sitting at a nice, respectable 16 and 59. They, of course, the bottom of the Eastern Conference there. They've walked away from that number one overall draft pick, basically guaranteed, by winning a couple games after the break. And overall, they've looked pretty solid, but they're back to their losing ways. They haven't been necessarily close the last couple of times out, which at least they had been competitive when they were right after the All-Star break, right after the trade deadline. They had been competitive for a little while. They're back to not being competitive. 2-8 over their last 10 is simply not good enough. Right above them, though, it's the team that they've beaten the most. The Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets, also not a good team, but injuries have contributed a lot to that. Sitting at 19 and 56 right now, this is a Charlotte Hornets team that, if they can stay healthy, again, it's a big if with this team. They haven't really been able to do it all of LaMelo Ball's career. Maybe they can be a play-in style team. We'll just have to see. The Eastern Conference is all locked up for playoffs. The Western Conference, still a little bit of a jumble there, but it just has not been very good. At number 27, we have the 76ers. News broke today that Joel Embiid is going to undergo some surgery on his knee. We hope that he has a successful surgery and recovers quickly. It's always better when he's out there on the court, and that's been the issue this year. He hasn't been out there on the court. Paul George has been suffering injuries. Tyrese Maxey also dealing with injuries, not enough. You had a promising rookie in Jared McCann, also out for the season with an injury. This is a team that, if it stays healthy next season, could once again return to the top of the East, but this is just not their year. 23 and 53. It's just a big mess. At 26, we have the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets have figured out a way to lose recently. Now, they have won 2 straight games, but still 3-7 over their last 10 games, 25 and 51 overall on the season. This is a Nets team that came into the season trying to lose games. They traded for their own picks back in the expectation that they will lose a lot of games. They were right about that, but I think they were a little bit better than they expected. We'll see where that lands them in the lottery. At number 25, we have the Raptors. They've shown some life as of late. They've been pretty solid, average, you might say, 5-5 over their last 10 games, sitting at 28-48. Again, not their season. Injuries have really ruined it. They weren't able to quite replicate the success that they had last season. This is still a really young team. It's a young team with a lot of potential on it. They bring in Brandon Ingram and extend him, actually, so he's going to be there for a little while longer. It's a solid trade deadline if he's able to stay healthy and be the guy that we all know he can be when he's out there on the court. But the Raptors, this again was just kind of a throwaway season for them after the way things started. At 24, we've got the Pelicans, and it's kind of been the story of all of these teams, right? All these teams that are eliminated from the playoffs. Injuries. Zion shut down for the year. CJ McCollum shut down for the year. All these guys that could have been on what I think truly could be a very good team just couldn't stay healthy, not at the same time. Maybe they can get back. Maybe they can be healthy next season, but with the way this Pelicans team has been over the last couple seasons, there's no way I can count on them to be anything other than injured. At 23, we've got the Spurs. I hate to sound like a broken record, but again, injuries have been the story of this team. Victor Wembanyama goes down. They trade for De'Aaron Fox. He goes down for the year. Even their coach, not quite an injury, Greg Popovich had to step away from coaching due to medical concerns. He might be back. We don't know the timetable on Victor Wembanyama. He's out indefinitely. He should be ready for next season based on reports. This is a team that's punting for next year. They've got a lot of young talent. They've got a lot of guys ready to explode once Victor Wembanyama makes his return. But they're the first team that's still alive for the playoff race in our power ranking so far. Right above them, we have the Portland Trail Blazers. They look like that they might find a way to the play-ins this year. I was kind of rooting for it. They're not dead in the water yet. At 33-43, they're only 3.5 games back of the Sacramento Kings, who currently hold that 10 seed. The Trail Blazers have kind of been mediocre. They started off incredibly hot after the All-Star break, one of the hottest teams in basketball. They've kind of cooled down a little bit. They've gone 5-5 over their last 5 games. Over the last 10 games, excuse me. But this is a team that's still very much alive. I think with the young guys they have, Denny Avdija has really stepped up this season. Maybe they can find a way, potentially, to make it over the Kings and the Sun. Speaking of the Suns are right here on number 21, right ahead of the Trail Blazers. They've lost 4 straight games. Kevin Durant is injured. That is brutal for them. He has been the engine that drives the success of this team. They are at the outside looking in right now as the playoffs are right around the corner, a game and a half back of those Sacramento Kings who hold on to that 10 spot. I think they've run out of gas, and this is a disappointing team if there ever was one. The Heat climb back a couple spots to number 20. They have locked their spot into the play-in. They're still in the race there. They're still going for seeding. They're 2 games back of the 7 seed Orlando Magic, so maybe they can find their way in there. But right now they also have to watch their back because the Bulls, who are really hot right now, they're only half a game back of the Heat right now, and the 9 seed, the 10 seed. We'll have to see what happens there. But the Heat have won 5 straight games after losing 10 straight games. Maybe they've figured out how to play with the team. It does take a little while, of course, to get used to players when you trade away the star player on your team. The Heat will figure it out in the playoffs. We'll see how far they can go. At number 19, we have those Kings, a team that's kind of been floundering of late, 3-7 in their last 10. They've lost 2 straight games now. I'm not sure they're going to hold on to their playoff spot. They do have the benefit of being able to stay steady with the Phoenix Suns, who also are losing a lot of games. But the Trailblazers are the team to watch right now. The Sacramento Kings need to turn it on if they want to secure their spot in the play-in this year. At number 18, we have the Bulls. This has been a very hot team. Now, they haven't been unbeatable, but compared to where they were at the beginning of the season, this is a Bulls team that has really turned a corner. I love the way that the rookie Matthias Buzelis has been playing. This is a Bulls team that I really am a fan of. I just don't think they're quite ready to make a deep run this year. Speaking of a team I really do like, it's the Orlando Magic. They are starting to get healthy at the right time. They are pretty much locked into the play-in. They're 5 games back of the Milwaukee Bucks. They're currently sitting at 37-40, so 77 games in. They've only got 5 games to go. Maybe with the way that the Bucks are floundering, they can find a way to take over that 6th seed, but they're basically locked in. They just need to stay healthy right now. They need to continue relying on their guys because when they're all there, this is a team that I think can cause a lot of damage in the postseason. At number 16, we've got the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks have been red hot. They're tied dead even with the Orlando Magic, but they have been hot right now. Trae Young playing great basketball. This is a team that built really around what I thought was kind of a weak trade deadline and really turned it around. I'm really impressed with this Hawks team. At number 15, though, we have the Mavericks. They're getting healthy. Daniel Gafford has come back. Anthony Davis is coming back soon. They're still not going to be Anthony Davis already back. This is not necessarily a Mavericks team that's going to make heads roll, but this is a Mavericks team that if they get the right matchup could be dangerous in the West. Right now, at that 9 seed, they're not going to catch up to the Clippers. They're 6.5 games back of them. But you see them get the 8 seed against the Thunder. Could be interesting. We'll have to see what happens. The Bucks are here at number 14, and they're floundering a bit. Obviously, losing Dame is a huge loss for them. Giannis is great, but he can't do everything on his own. When they get Bobby Portis back, that's going to be big. They need more depth in that front court. I just don't know how deep this Bucks team is going to go, especially from that 6th seed position matched up against the Knicks. At number 13, I've got the Pistons. The Pistons are their own thing. The bad boy Pistons are back, right? They got into a bit of a fight, a little scuffle, a couple ejections they're going to have to deal with. This is a Pistons team that is locked basically into that 5 seed, currently sitting 2 games back of the Pacers. They're not out of that. They're not out of the woods. They could potentially climb up to the 4 seed there, but still, they're most likely going to be playing the Pacers. So it's not really worth the chase unless they truly think that home court advantage means a lot. Maybe they try a little bit, but right now they're trying to stay healthy, be ready for a playoff series with a young roster. At number 12, we've got the Clippers. Seeing a play-in team above a playoff team, that's the disparity right there between the East and the West. James Harden has been playing amazing basketball. Kawhi Leonard is back healthy. They're trying to make sure he can stay healthy for the playoffs. He doesn't do back-to-backs right now. This is a Clippers team that has really surprised me. They've, honestly, has been the good surprise of the season for me. Other than the Pistons, I thought the Clippers were going to be really bad, but they turned it around, or didn't turn it around. They stayed successful. I'm really shocked how good the Clippers are this year. At number 11, we've got the Knicks. They just need to get healthy. Without Jalen Brunson, they've been kind of average. They still need to figure out what's going to happen at center. The injury bug just continues to get this team. If they just can stay healthy, this is a dangerous team. But for now, they're outside the top 10. Getting into the top 10, though, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. They fire their coach in one of the more interesting moves that I've seen in a very long time with just 9 games to go. They haven't won a game since. It's not the greatest move for the locker room, I don't think. I don't really understand it. Even if they were going to move off of him at the end of the season, firing him now just completely takes all the momentum you've gathered and throws it out the window. I'm not a big fan of what the organization did there. The Timberwolves at number 9 have been really hot. They are right there, tied with the Memphis Grizzlies for that 6-7 line, trying to get to out of the play-in into the playoffs. Half a game back of Golden State. A statement win against the Nuggets last night is going to do wonders for them. The way that Anthony Edwards and that team has been playing of late has been amazing. They've won 3 straight. 7-3 in their last 10 games. This is a Timberwolves team that is absolutely rolling at the right time. Speaking of rolling at the right time, that's what the number 8 team in our power ranking is doing as well, the Pacers. They go out there, they have clinched a playoff spot. That's right. They are the first team on our list that has clinched a playoff spot, one of just 5 teams in the NBA that has clinched a playoff spot so far. This is a really good Pacers team. This is a Pacers team that, despite dealing with injuries, has continued to stay hot. I love the way this Pacers team plays basketball. They're going to be a tough out again in this year's Eastern Conference playoffs. At number 7, though, we've got the Lakers. I did drop them just a little bit from last week. Or excuse me, I did move them up a little bit from last week. They're up 2 spots from last week because they're getting healthy again. That's kind of been the story in every sports league, but especially for this Lakers team. Anthony, when you have Austin Reeves playing the level of basketball that he is right now, LeBron James still doing his LeBron James thing. You've got Luka Doncic, of course, doing Luka Doncic things. This is a Lakers team that's going to be a really, really tough out. But I just don't feel like with the defense that they've been able to play, I don't think it's going to be able to stand up to the scrutiny and intensity of playoff basketball. And that's why I have the Warriors ahead of them. The Golden State Warriors have been everything they promised to be once they acquired Jimmy Butler and more. They have been amazing with him in a statement win the other night with Curry dropping over 50 points, nearly setting the record for most threes made in a single game, with Jimmy Butler continuing to be an excellent co-star for him. When those two are on the court together, this Warriors team looks near unbeatable. We'll have to see how it looks in the playoffs, but I love this Warriors team right now. Getting into the top 5, we've got the Denver Nuggets. Despite Jokic dropping 61 points in a 61-point triple-double last night, they still ended up losing in double overtime. A brutal way to go out. But this is a Nuggets team that, as long as they have Jokic, is going to be hanging around that top 5 territory because he just is that special of a player. At number 4, we've got the Houston Rockets, a red-hot young Rockets team. They just lost a big game against the Lakers last time out, but still, this is a Rockets team that I do believe in a lot. They're a young team, so I don't know how deep they're going to go into the playoffs, but holding on to that 2 seed in the East, in the West, is really impressive for such a young team right now. We'll have to see how far they can go. But getting to the top 3, this one might be a little controversial, but I'm putting the Cavs here at number 3. There's nothing that the Cavs have done. They've been playing great basketball, right? They secured a 60-win season already, and while they haven't clinched that number 1 overall seed in the conference, they've basically got that locked up, right? At 60-15 with just 7 games to go, they've got a 4-game lead on the Celtics, but I just don't think they're playing as well as the Celtics right now, so I had to drop them down 1 spot because I have the Celtics at number 2. You talk about a team clicking. This is a team that is in real danger, or there's a real threat, I should say, to take that top spot in the East. You thought the Cavs had it locked up, but the Celtics are right there. We forget so easily that they were one of the best teams that we've ever seen put together last year that steamrolled, I should say, to a championship, 9-1 over their last 10. They have won 9 straight games. They are the hottest team in basketball right now, or at least in the Eastern Conference. These Celtics are dangerous, and they are dangerous at the right time yet again. But of course, at number 1, the real hottest team in the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're the only ones that have clinched their conference. They have won 10 straight games. They have won 63 games. They're sitting at 63-12 right now. This is a Thunder team that is young, hungry, and most importantly, dangerous. They have the MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, on their team, but this is going to be a really fun playoffs, and I can't wait to see. But once again, top 10 for you. Grizzlies at 10, Timberwolves at 9, Pacers at 8, Lakers at 7, Warriors at 6, the Nuggets at 5, the Rockets at 4, Cavs at 3, Celtics at 2, and the Oklahoma City Thunder sitting at 1. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think of the NBA Power Rankings? Who's your top 5? Drop those in the comments. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we turn our attention over to the big day from yesterday in the NBA. Steph Curry, 50 points, nearly breaks the 3-point record. Jokic doing things we've never seen before, a 61-point triple-double. We'll talk about all of that and more coming up next here on GSMC's Down by Contact Sports Podcast.